I Facebook messaged him just now and said hello, but he's not.
Yeah. Well, I hope everything's okay. We'll survive, right?
Oh yeah, we're live. Hi, hi,
It didn't do our beginning. Oh my goodness. I
but
wasn't ready for that.
that's okay. Hi everyone, welcome to Seeing Beyond Living Transformed. We have a great show for you tonight. I just want to say hello to Kelly and let her know I'm so happy to be back. And thank you, Lori Albert, for filling in. And
Yes,
yes, hi Kelly, how are you?
I'm great. And we missed you last week, but Lori and I had so much fun. We
I'm
had a great time.
sure, sure you did.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you so much for having me, everyone. I went out of the country. I was at Arthur Findlay College, and I loved it. And so I was in England, and I got back this weekend. And so, yeah, so I had so much to share. And I think that kind of sparked our topic for tonight. We were going to talk about exploring the spirit world and all different types of mediumship, right, Kelly?
yes, and I'm very excited to talk about that.
Yeah. Is
That's
there
going to be awesome.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to share with me first? Have you had a good week? I missed you. Did you?
I know. Well, we missed you a lot. We had a great show. Lori is amazing and full of so much energy. I mean, if I could take like a fraction of her energy, I'd just like have the most amazing day. We have a little feedback. I don't know how to fix that. Is it me or you?
Everything sounds good on my end. Um, and just to let everyone know, we have our wonderful Brianna working behind the scenes with us today. And Brianna, do we sound okay to you? You can. Oh, I sound a bit muffled. I don't know where it's from. Um,
You
hold
hear
on.
the feedback?
Hold on.
Well, while Cheryl's going, I'm just going to, before we get started with the show, because we're running a little bit behind tonight because we had a few technical issues. But I just want to talk about my trip to Egypt in February of next year. If you've ever wanted to go or it's on your bucket list, I highly recommend you check out my trip. It's going to be amazing. I'm going, oh, welcome back. I'm going with Jules Davis, who I'm going to have on the show here too, with Cheryl and I. And she's an amazing healer in LA and medium and psychic and everything. And we will be doing past life regression reading or past life readings. We'll be doing, uh, full moon activation ceremony, like all kinds of amazing things inside the the pyramids. We have private time. We have the most amazing trip planned to see so many amazing things. So if you want to go to Egypt or it's on your bucket list, now's the time. You just have to pay the deposit now and have it paid off fully by December. So check it out. It's worthwhile to come with us. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be a fun trip. I'm so excited. It's on my bucket list too, and I can't wait to go. So
I'm so
now that I'm
excited.
done, you sound better. You sound
I'm
better.
sure I sound so much better. Thank you. I
Yeah.
changed microphones. So thank you
Okay.
for
Well,
letting
that
me
was
know.
it.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. I was on another call just now and I was using another mic. So
And it doesn't always like that. They get
no,
mad.
they do.
I, I took mine off too because mine was doing static also.
Yeah.
So, so we're going to talk about mediumship today. Like there's so many different kinds. I tell people all the time, you know, um, there's the basics, right? There's like trans mediumship, like either where they have like physical medium or
Mhm.
what is the other term? There's physical. So I'm
Well,
totally drawing a blank.
I thought when I was thinking about the show today, I thought we really want to break this down and really
Yeah,
maybe just describe what is mediumship, right? What does it mean when we call ourselves a medium? And what's that all about, just to start with, and then you and I are both evidential mediums. We'll talk about that, how we add to that name medium or psychic medium
yes,
and spiritual medium, and so there's lots of
right. And
different.
and there's a big misconception of the different types of mediums, I think.
Mm,
Because people will be like, "Oh, I'm a channeler." Well, all mediumship is channeling.
mhm.
So when they say they're a channeler, I think what they're talking about is where they're channeling not necessarily spirit, but more of a guide.
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, do you think that that's what they mean?
I think so too. Some people do. I think they sometimes the terms overlap. You know,
Yes, they do.
terminology is overlapping, and always is changing. So always, you know, mediumship for me, and I know for you, Kelly, mediumship. Just to define that for everyone, it's really about connecting with the spirit world.
Mhm.
Mediumship is we're the medium. We're in between the person we're helping, giving the reading to, and we're also connecting with the spirit world. And the spirit world, when I say that for me, that's an umbrella term for loved ones, departed loved ones, angels and guides, even ascended masters, you know, unseen
Mhm.
friends and teachers. And I know that Kelly and I, it's our vocation being mediums. Like, this is our calling. This is what we are.
All I want to do.
It's our passion,
Yes.
right, Kelly?
It is. It is my passion. I mean, I've always had the gift, but when I finally embraced it and started developing, I was so like, this is all I want to do. I was so obsessed with it to learn as much as possible that I wasn't sleeping. I was just online, like researching, and I was signing up for courses all over the country. Like, I wanted to learn from everybody, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been like an amazing journey. And
Mhm,
I have to say, it's the first time in my life I ever found it easy to make friends
mhm.
because I'm with all these like-minded people, so we just sort of click, where I never had that, growing up.
Boy,
So,
that is so true.
yeah.
I know I never really had friends to talk about this with. I knew I had my family and my brother. Our family, it was common, but outside, it's you're looking for like-minded people. You know,
Mhm.
where can I go? And that's actually why I started taking classes. I just want to be with people I know. I just want to talk about this all day.
Right? You don't wanna be like, I
Feel
never
that
I wish I
spirit.
had embraced it sooner in life,
Yeah.
but honestly, I'm stubborn, and spirit just kept giving me clues, but I kept ignoring it. It wasn't until, like, Aiden, started talking,
Mhm.
and some of the things that that child would say, I was just like, "Oh my gosh, he's
Yeah.
just like me." He asked me as soon as he could talk. He was like 2 and a half. I mean, he talked before then, but you really couldn't understand the kid. So
Mhm.
around 2 and a half, he was like, "I miss my grandpa." And I'm
Mm.
like, "Well, your grandpa lives in South Africa." He goes, "No, your dad." And I'm
Oh.
like, my dad, you never met him." And he's like, "Yes, I did."
Uh-uh.
And I was like, "Oh, no, he's got the gift." I mean, it was clear when
Yeah.
he was an infant, there was something different about him, but I remember the same feelings as a child.
Well,
And
that let me just ask you, because now you're creating these really good questions for the show, Kelly, and for all
yeah,
of our listeners, because what sparks in me is mediumship natural? You know, is it
I know.
natural, or can you learn it? Is everyone a medium? What?
Right, I believe, I mean, maybe you don't believe this, I don't know, I believe everybody could do this, but it
Mhm.
doesn't mean everybody should be doing this for a living. But
Mm.
we can definitely connect with our own loved ones. Like, my husband is so connected with the spirit world, with his family and his friends. He hears them, he has very clear audience,
Mhm.
and he feels them. He's very
Mhm.
clairsentient, but he doesn't, see things like I do, or, we're different, but he's never developed it. But if
Mhm.
he were to develop it, he'd probably be the most amazing one ever. But it's not his thing, but he understands it and appreciates it and doesn't need readings because he feels like he's connected already.
Mhm. I always tell people, come to class or come to a reading with an open mind and an open heart.
Mhm.
I do believe we all have the ability to develop our mediumship. And it is through practice and taking classes, or, you know, learning from on your own with your spirit within, so to speak. But we all have the capacity to sense, I do believe,
Yes.
in
It's
some way, whether it's through the seeing or the hearing or the feeling or the, you know, all the clairs. That's how we receive the information, is through the sensory
it's part
perceptions.
of us. Like, we're all born with it, right?
Yes. Oh, that's so true.
I mean, we're not all like, everybody can sing, right? But I'm no
Mhm.
Mariah Carey. You don't want to hear me sing. I can't carry a tune, but I sure do love singing.
Yeah,
You know, um,
yeah.
but I know that because I'm a musician, I did play the trumpet. I know that's so funny. I played the trumpet for 7, 8 years as a child.
Uh-huh.
And as a musician, I had to really train my ear. And through doing that, I had to learn to sing
Mm-hmm.
do, re, mi, all that, right?
Yeah, right.
And I wasn't great, but I was able to get the tones to match so that I could start to hear it. So I trained
Beautiful.
myself to do that, right? But
Yeah.
it's not natural.
Mm-hmm.
But we all have the ability to do that, just like mediumship. It's the
Mm-hmm.
same thing.
And it's so much to talk about. And it's like coaching. When I
We have a Brianna, can you get rid of any E and Y? Can you block her, please? We have a troll, everybody.
Okay, thank you. And I am also able to block. I
I
don't know.
am not.
I am able to. I do not
Please
know.
block her.
So I did.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for letting me know. And thank you,
Yeah.
viewers and listeners, for letting us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate that. And we can get on with the show here.
It doesn't say block. Oh, she's blocked. Thank you. Good job, Cheryl.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we cannot have them trolls. No
No.
trolls tonight.
So now we want to ask the viewers, like, for anyone listening, we want to say hello to everyone on our program tonight, and thank you everyone for joining in and listening. Are you a medium? That's my question to you.
Yeah.
Or do you feel you're a medium? That's what Kelley and I want to share with you. Do you feel that you would like to develop this more? Do you feel that you sense or feel or hear or perceive, receive the spirit world? And we'd love to hear your comments and, of course, your questions. You can type in your questions in our comment section. Of course, everyone's welcome to email us the question if you'd like at questions@seeingbeyondradio.com. We'd love it for you to email us a question. If we don't get to it this week, we'll certainly try to get to it another episode.
And Cheryl, can I ask you, what course were you taking when you were in Arthur Findlay this past week?
So this past week, I was taking a trance class.
And explain to everybody what that is.
So I love trance because I know it just helps me connect. Once again, it's about going into altered states. It's about relaxing your body, your consciousness, so to speak, relaxing and surrendering, as they say. We always want to say surrender. And feel the spirit world even more. You want to build your energy, right? So we're building our energy and we're allowing the connection to happen. So trance, it's a very passive energy. It's a passive activity, if that even makes sense. But you want to be very aware and set the intention. I think, Kelley, is always important. You and I always teach setting our intention, right? What's our intention for being a medium?
Mediumship, right? Exactly. Because spirit hears it. The universe hears it. I mean, all you have to do is think it. It's a thought. It doesn't have to be said out loud.
Right. So it's setting the intention. So trance, it was beautiful. I met so many wonderful people and wonderful mediums and just beautiful spirits. Some of them, some people I knew and I'd seen before, and many people were new to me, and I was happy to make so many new friends.
Yay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited. I really love trance mediumship because you go into like a deeper state. But it's not something you can really like necessarily do like a dem on, right? Or that you could do with like one-on-one, because how weird would that be if this person's like in this deep altered state?
Yeah.
And I've heard stories from Tony Stockwell about some funny stories about people that did do that and what happened. But it is amazing. I've done a lot of trance mediumship training over the years too, and it's really, to me, my favorite thing to do. And I would like to learn more as well, so I could begin teaching it and get a group going here in Sacramento, because it just really brings you to such a beautiful place. And you see so many things. Like, I remember going into a trance once and seeing through this woman's glasses that she was wearing in spirit, and they were the pointy ones from the 60s. And I was in her backyard, and I was sitting in a chair. I was her in the chair looking out at the grass and then the river that ran through her property, and her grandchildren playing in the river or creek or whatever it was, and just remembering like seeing her hands, like it's so you get so in their
Yes.
You could see, like, I could see what she was wearing. I could see her rings were petite, her fingers were petite, and I could feel them.
Yes.
And when you do regular mediumship, we just don't go that deep, because I personally, when I go that deep, I'm not always talking.
Mm-hmm.
Afterwards, I come out, then I can talk. But when I'm just so in the zone. I know some people
Right.
don't go that deep talk. I've
Right.
never gotten to that state. I don't know if you have, but it is
Yes, I have.
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is amazing. And having and being surrounded with the beautiful energy of Arthur Fenley, and the beautiful students, and the instructors, of course, it just creates the environment, right? It creates the time where you're not on your phone or your computer all day, and and you're setting aside that really that once again, the devotion or the practice, because it is a practice. I mean,
It is.
even in mediumship, we're always in some way encouraging our students, because both Kelly and I teach and mentor. We're always encouraging our students to practice, right? Practice reading, giving readings.
Important. Yeah. It's never ending, the continuous learning. Here's a great question. I just want to touch on this. Thank you for this question. It says, aren't all mediums psychic? Why do some people make it a point to distinguish between psychic and mediums? Here's my philosophy. There's a saying, everyone's psychic, but not all mediums are psychic. Or no, wait, no, everyone's psychic. Wait, no, everyone's a, darn it, I lost the saying, Cheryl, don't you hate that?
Every
Well, you say it.
every medium is a psychic, but
Yes.
not all psychics are
Or
mediums.
But my belief is that everybody is a psychic and everybody is a medium. I believe we're all naturally born with psychic ability. It's innate. It's like part of who we are. It's in our nature. It's just kind of a lost thing in our society, right? But not everybody has the mediumship to the extent of where they can connect like we're doing, but they can still do it with their own family and loved ones. So, but they do have it. So the reason people distinguish is because it's confusing. I know, and I'll tell you this, when I first started developing, to me, they were hand in hand. They were the same thing, psychic medium, psychic.
Yes. Right.
And so I was looking for a psychic, and I came across Medium Fleur, who I absolutely adore and love. And I thought, oh, well, I'll go see, what is this? A psychic dem? Like, it was a mediumship dem, but I mean, my brain was like psychic, medium, same thing.
And when you say dem, I don't know.
A demonstration
of,
in an audience, in Santa Monica. And I took the kids because I had no idea what I was going to. I really didn't. And then that's when I knew I had seen spirits, but mostly when I was sleeping. I'm in this dem, and everybody she's bringing through, I am like overwhelmed and crying, and like I can feel everything and know everything she's going to say before she says it. And my kids are like, "You're so embarrassing, Mom. Be quiet," And then, she says to me at the end, because I asked a question, she's like, "You're a medium." I'm like, "I know." And my kids are like, "Oh my God." But that's when I started developing. I went there for guidance for my kids and for my younger one because he was so gifted. So I didn't know there was a difference. And I think that's why people try to differentiate. I often get readings or somebody booked a mediumship and they're like, "Whoa, I just wanted myself read. I don't want to talk to you."
Right.
Like, freaked out. So I always make sure before every reading, I go over, like, is this what you want?
I also do the combination readings where I'll start the reading by bringing through departed loved ones, because that's why people come to see me. But then really their departed loved ones become part of the reading. And I feel when the people I'm working with have questions about their own life or their own career path, their loved ones are still there supporting and loving them. So it is kind of a combination medium psychic reading. But to Kako, to answer your question about psychics and mediums, thank you for asking that, because we really break it down to teach it. But I do feel what Kelly is saying is you do come to your own understanding of what mediumship and psychic is. And yes, I agree with Kelly that it's very blended. It's very much the same. We just kind of piece it out. We break it down to create the understanding and learn about our abilities. But but mediumship is truly a way of connecting with departed loved ones. And I think that's what mostly Kelly and I do. But I think it's even, for example, it even goes in waves. We do a lot. It's really the the waves, you can see a trend happening.
Well, and here's another great question for Brittany Howe.
Hi, Brittany.
When doing your reading, do you ask spirit questions or do you let spirit lead you? So I personally don't ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are some teachers that will teach that, and I've had those teachers before. It just doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't feel natural because I feel like when I'm asking, I'm losing my connection. I'm dropping down into my brain,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not like removed anymore, and I'm not allowing spirit to come through. I
Mm-hmm.
allow spirit to tell me what they want. Does that mean I don't like tap into their memories? I do, but it's not me asking questions. I'm just viewing what they're showing me. It's all right there if you're connected. It's all right there. It's almost like you're in their brain and you've got all of their thoughts and you know what they really want to express because they're telling you it in that way. If that makes sense. I hope I said that right.
Yes. It's definitely it's like walking with spirit. It's a partnership. You're letting them lead or you're following their lead, so to speak. And really our job as mediums is to surrender. Do I ask them questions? I may speak to them after the reading is over, like, how did I do? Did I help out enough? I hope I did. I may ask them questions like thank you so much. I mean, I always, Kelley and I, and this is number one, you really want to show gratitude after our work as mediums, and even after your work getting a reading, you want to be grateful. We have to be grateful for the spirit world and just share that connection of how reverent this responsibility is truly, and how what a privilege it is to connect and make that
Right.
bring you through healing messages.
Yeah. And if I do ask a question, it's typically this, like, so I might get information that my sitter cannot take. So I
Yeah.
said, Spirit, if you want me to get through this message,
Yes.
I need more information, please. And I ask them to come closer, but I don't ask them questions like, what is your name?
Yeah,
Where were you born?
that's
When
true.
did you die? Like, I can feel all of that. I don't need to
Mhm.
ask it. It's there. Is that
Yeah, we just say, look, well, they're not understanding how I'm interpreting this. Can you give it to me another way? Because it
yeah.
really is our interpretation. It's the mediums. That's why readings will maybe be different with different mediums, because we've all had different life experiences, and the information coming through us through the medium is going through some type of a filter or through a life experience, right? Where
Right.
when we share the information, we're hoping we're presenting it in its purest form. But it may be a little bit different, so that messages may be a little different.
Yeah, and that's why there's a medium for everybody, but it's not one medium for
Oh,
everybody.
yes.
And Mavis used to say, and I so resonate with this, and I love her.
Mavis Batilla, we want to
Yes,
make sure we
I
honor.
mentored with her for a while, and she's the most
Yeah.
amazing medium in the world. And she would tell me, Kelley, you don't earn a reputation here. You earn the reputation in the spirit world, and they
Wow.
bring you your clients. So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter how much advertising or what you say.
Mhm.
If you're not making an impression with spirit, you're
Mhm.
not going to have the clients. And it's true. I have to be like honest, like my business has been very blessed. And I
Mhm.
have to say it's always word of mouth here and there,
Yeah.
and I'm very grateful for that. And I always thank spirit for choosing me. Like you
Yeah.
said, I'm
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah, I love Mavis Patilla, and she would always talk about being a VIP, about how, and she would talk about the intelligence of the spirit world, and about really we're doing the work for them, and we are speaking. We are the voice of the spirit world, and how very important that was. So she always had great honor and just made you feel like, oh my, the glory of the spirit world, and how everything is so perfect
Mhm.
and is intentional from their side too. They are bringing through as much information as they can to reach as many people as they can. We always say that in our public demonstrations. If I may just go back a moment, Kelley, because you mentioned mediumship and you mentioned mental mediumship, and I want to
Yes.
share that. That's a type of mediumship. So on today's program, we want to share with you not only trance mediumship, but there's mental mediumship, something that you may not have heard of, but Kelley and I are going to talk about that now.
And so what we do is what's the terminology for the type of mediumship that we do? Is that mental?
We do mental
Right.
mediumship.
Now the other one is physical
There
mediumship.
is physical mediumship too.
Yes.
So mental mediumship is that mind to mind type of blending where we're connecting with them. We say mind to mind and mental, but it's really anything but mental because your mind is not involved. But this is the name of what we do. We don't include the mind. We actually bring in. We actually put that to the side.
I always say I want to be mindless when I'm doing this, right?
on the shelf with our minds, and we're bringing through the essence of the spirit world. And that does come with practice, sitting in the power, meditation, is setting the intention.
Yeah.
So once again, that's mental mediumship. And that's mostly what we see
Now,
with us right now.
Let's explain physical mediumship.
Yes.
Physical mediumship is when you're like a connection between the spirit world, right? And through you, physical things may manifest, such as what they call apports. I actually have one that manifested for me, a sterling silver charm for my chain that I had talked about wanting, and it literally came out of my RV door and landed on the ground in front of me. I'm not kidding you.
I know. I believe.
I mean, I've been in my crystal store when my son passed away. I was meditating and I was asking for more concrete evidence that he was really around me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd been sitting in a specific spot in the room, but I have cameras because it's a crystal store. And of course, they're always like getting everything, and it's in the dark. And I had my boom box up ahead on the shelf, and you can see in the video of the boom box being inched little by little. That's physical mediumship because they were able to move it, right? And through my energy, because I was asking for it, it literally landed. Once I got it, it knocked on the ground where I had been sitting. It wasn't meant to hurt me. They were just trying to show me like, hey, I am here. And my internet cut out and it started playing music. Now the boom box connected to the internet. It started playing music. I had no internet. It went completely down, and it played the song that was the song we played on my son's memorial.
Oh my God.
What About Angels? And I'm like, there's no internet. Like, how is it playing this? And we couldn't turn it off. I had unplugged it and everything. That's physical mediumship. So my energy combined with all of that and his was able to make something physically manifest and happen.
And I'm so happy to hear that you had that experience.
That was amazing.
I just got back once again from Arthur Findlay College, and I too sat in a physical mediumship circle. And it's just like what Kelley explained. It is the physical phenomena of movement of objects, what have you, setting the intention once again with positivity and music and raising your vibration, so to speak, to allow the spirit world to show you that they are forever here helping and supporting us. So beautiful.
Well, I asked for it. I got it. Let me tell you. I got it. And the second time I got it was on the Queen Mary, which I feel like the Queen Mary was more of a, because we're on water. And I physically heard my son's voice out loud.
Yes.
But let me tell you, I was not prepared for that. I mean, it was like you and I talking right now. And he said, Mom, and he yelled, please stop crying. And did I stop crying? And I turned on every light in that room because I was in the dark. And I decided I better go home. I shouldn't be here. It literally scared me, even though it was my son's voice.
Of course.
It was like overwhelming. But that's another form of physical mediumship when you hear it so vividly out loud like that, right?
Yeah. And also we had a crystal. You mentioned you had a crystal. I think we had a crystal drop on the table. It just comes from the sky. It comes from nowhere. And it's called an apport, where they can actually manifest something through the ethers and place on the table. So
I've had I still have it, a silver charm that's the psychic hand. I had said the day before that I wanted one like that, but I didn't sell them at my crystal store, and I was looking to order some, and it literally appeared. And another time, a dime, both of them like were signs for my son. A silver dime flew out of the RV. I mean, it was weird, and I wasn't the only one that witnessed it. We were both like, it was my son and I. He was little, but we were both like, that just came out of the RV, like what in the world? And the date on the dime was the year my son passed.
Yeah.
2016, and I thought that's a sign, of course,
Yes.
from him letting me know, because I'd been asking.
Mhm.
He had just passed, and I was asking. I saw seen so much proof. I mean, I know it, but it's like my child, right? I just need it. I needed this, so he was giving it to me.
And
It was,
so really when everyone, when you find coins, look at the date. That is
yes,
so important. Look at the date.
because a lot of times it has to do with either when they were born, when they passed, something important in your life. But
Mhm.
it's a connection, I believe.
Mhm.
So
I know. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
beautiful. There was another question up here that
Mhm.
was like a part 2. I want to find this. So
Well,
the first question from Brittany, can we go back and check that out?
yeah, sure.
Whoops. There it is. It says, because I've noticed in my readings that I follow spirit and they do vary quite a bit. However, I've watched some other mediums online and have seen many do the same format for each reading, such as relationship to sitter, how they
Mhm.
died, personality, etc., in the same order. Do you think the spirit just knows how the medium likes to organize readings, or perhaps they have an awesome spirit guide, etc.? So I do my readings that way. I've asked spirit to work with me that way.
Mhm.
I want to know a relationship right away. So 95% of the time, spirit comes on my right side for mom's side of the family, my
Mhm.
left side for dad's side of the family, or down the middle for friends, cousins, and siblings. And it's 95% of the time I'm like 100% accurate,
Mhm.
And then there's a few times where you get spirit that wants to come in on the opposite side, and that's typically because they were more of a rebel, they didn't like rules, and so it gives me a clue to their personality. So yes, you do build a relationship with spirit, and you start to tell them how you want to work with them. It took me 3 years before I was able to get relationships. Before that, I was like, tap my right hand if you're a woman, tap my left if you're a man. And, that's pretty slow, let me tell you. And finally, it just kind of came to me because I'd been working with them and asking and meditating on it and sitting in the power and doing a lot and just saying, I need, these are my rules. I need you to work with me. And they do. What about you, Cheryl? Do you work a
Yeah.
certain way like that?
I do work with spirit, and it is about blending. So that's what I just want to answer Brittany with is yes, it's a request that we put out to the spirit world. What works, what we could, what would work for you as a medium? How would you like to work? But it's the way I work is also, it's about letting them, I just blend with them. I blend with them and I feel the energy of a man or a woman, or the relationship. But I do like to get those things in the beginning of a reading. And also we do surrender, and whatever they bring through in the beginning is very important part of the reading, just to let you know, because maybe they bring through their personality first, and
Mhm.
maybe they bring through a scent or a fragrance of a perfume, and that's how the reading begins, because it's up to them to decide. We're telling their story, so to speak. We're
Right,
telling their spirit world story, and bringing through what they want to talk about. And sometimes their need to give you the message is not your need, is not the message that maybe you're asking for or you're wanting, right?
right.
Maybe you want to know something about yourself, but their need is to tell you, look, we know that, you're going through something, and something may be different, just to let you know. So we do, Kelly and I, and work for the spirit world, even though we have you as our client in front of us, we're here to present them the best way we can. We want to be their way of connecting to you. So, once again, it's such a beautiful experience,
It
and
is.
we're so grateful for it. And they have a great sense of humor. Let me tell you,
Oh my gosh,
they
it's
can
true.
tell the biggest jokes too, and that's part of their personality that you would understand too. So I just feel that when you feel the essence, once again, that your loved one is here in the room with you, Kelly and I have done our job, right? We
Right.
feel like we were like, yes, thank you.
Spirits made me blush. Let me just tell you. I'm like, I don't want to say this. But that's usually some of the best evidence ever when they do that.
Truly, truly.
It is. And I'm like, I don't know if I could say this. I'm like, and they're like, say it. The
Yeah,
kind, and I'm
yeah,
like, I don't know. They're like, if you don't say it, I'm going to be upset. So, yeah. It's funny. I love when spirit has a sense of humor. I have
Mhm.
a sense of humor.
Mhm.
My family has a sense of humor. So I do often get that sense of humor with spirit, and I love it.
Mhm. I love it too. I love it too.
Brittany said, "Thank you for."
Oh, oh, you're welcome, and thank you, Brittany, for the work that you're doing as well. So many people, as Kelly, I did want to mention to Kelly, so many people are being called to do this work, or
Yes.
are being called to do some type of work of healing, of
Mhm.
Reiki, right? Of, once again,
Mediumship,
trance or mediumship, psychic, tarot
animal
cards.
communication, you name it, right?
Animal communication is another great medical intuition, medical
Medical
mediums,
intuition.
another type of
Yes,
mediumship.
yes. You know, I think that we're at a time now where it's a lot more accepted,
Mhm,
and more people are being born open, children, and it's I think it's a really good time for our community,
mhm.
and there is plenty of work because there's a lot of dead people. So it's not like you're ever going to be competing, right? There's so much work, and people need this healing. We have a society that's really needing to know or needing to feel that connection, because there's a lot of things that are going on in the world that are overwhelming to people, and this is a way to help with grief, a way to help them find guidance if you're doing psychic work. I think it's a very beautiful thing that we need more. We can never have enough, you know
Yeah, and, Kelly and I just wanna there's so much to talk about, and I'm gonna try to get it all in, Kelly, because 'cause I've been thinking about you and our
I know.
topic today, and I just want to say for me, when we talk about medical medium, my practice has really grown because I do call myself, I just feel comfortable calling myself not only a medium, but or an evidential medium, but a health and wellness intuitive.
I love
I
that.
do medical scans, or I'm not a doctor. I always have to say that, but intuitively, health wise, I do try to help people in some way, whether it's energy healing or
Mhm.
just helping them however I can. Let me slide this over to Kelly and share, because not many people know that maybe you do compatibility readings. This is something that you do that is a type of mediumship. So I wanted you to talk a little bit about that, Kelly.
Well, I love to tap into the energy of two living souls
Mhm.
and can tell you how compatible they are and what their issues and what their pluses are going to be. And when there's relationships, and it doesn't have to be love. This could be business. And honestly, I do have several business clients that
Mhm.
make appointments with me about 3 to 4 times a year to go over new partnerships that
Mhm.
they're working
Mhm.
on, So, and a lot of them are not necessarily like big businesses. They might be, what do you call that? Influencers. So I get a lot of
Mhm.
influencers, like who should I work with?
Mhm.
So I really think that that's important too, because, as myself, I'm super intuitive, but sometimes I don't always listen to myself, and I would go see a psychic just to get confirmation of what I
Mhm.
already knew, right?
Mhm.
And when it comes to, relationships, a lot of times people are trying to break patterns, and I can
Mhm.
see where they're like falling into the same pattern, and I can
Mhm.
help them kind of identify it and maybe break that.
Mhm. So for example, I didn't choose to step in and also help with health and wellness and call myself that medical intuitive. I feel that spirit drew me, or it just seemed to be an opening in my energy field. It just seemed to be compatible in that way. So in some way, that's kind of what's also added to my practice. And I'm wondering if that's happened for you in your compatibility readings. Is it something that you intentionally sought out to do, or is it just something natural for you,
I've
Kelly?
always done it and
You've
never realized
always done
it till
it. Yeah.
somebody we were at a spirit, like, a development workshop for a week, and it was after hours, and all the ladies, we were sitting in the kitchen area, like having wine and just having a good time and doing readings for each other. And apparently I got nicknamed the relationship psychic
Uh-huh.
because I was so spot on. People were like freaking out. I was like, "Oh, I've always done this. I thought everybody did it."
It's
And
yeah.
at the same time, another thing kind of came in, I noticed over the years that I meet babies before they're born.
Mm-hmm.
They come to me as a spirit baby, and spirit tells me that they've picked a soul out. And I see them before they're born and before anybody even knows, even when they're not even trying. I would say over the years, just from the confirmation I've got, because people are like, "You're crazy. That's never happening."
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
probably like 90% accurate, which is more than 50-50
Yeah.
on a baby that's coming into the family.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that I've noticed recently something changed or shifted in that, and that is I've been predicting a baby and it was really a dog.
we that's funny.
It is so
I'm not gonna say.
random in the last like six months to a year of like, well, you said a baby was coming and I thought you were crazy, but we got a baby dog.
So you talking about spirits before they're born, I'm seeing spirits before they leave. And so what's opened up for me also in my several years of being a medium is that, I connect, and I don't purposely seek this, but animals mostly come to me and tell me that they're leaving within a certain amount of time, or at a certain time,
Yeah.
or within a number of days. And also I felt that with people too, but that's kind of something that's just deepened my mediumship. Is
Right.
it's amazing, right? I mean, there's
Right.
so many more things that come from the work that we do. And so just to share with people, if you're being drawn to be a light worker or a healer, or, add this to your, field of study already, or do it for yourself, even, raise your intuition, deepen that. It's very beneficial. We think that I believe it's very healthy because we're naturally spiritual beings, right? It's our natural inclination. We're very instinctual people, and intuitive people, and we want to learn to really be self-reliant, or have that independence that we can trust our own gut, so to speak, right? We
Right.
can.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's taken a lot. I mean, I definitely think like the more I develop, the more I learn, the more I teach, the more it shifts. I've also noticed the reason I love teaching so much is that I have this strange ability, and maybe other teachers have this, I don't know, because I've never really talked to anybody about teaching, but I could be sitting in a room with students that are practicing, and I'm literally able, and I have the worst hearing, let me tell you guys, in life. I'm partially deaf in one ear
Wow.
because my brother put a firecracker in there when I was a child, and I lost hearing, and I have no hearing in left ear, and I can only hear in my right ear, and it causes other like issues with hearing. So but I'm sitting in this room and I have like, 4 to 6 groups of 2 people doing readings for each other. I'm able to hear everybody reading. And I
Mhm.
feel like I'm more in an altered state. That's why. And I'm able to tap in and see where they're stuck and where they're lost, and able to find out exactly what they're doing wrong and help them figure it out.
Mhm.
And I love that. And I feel like that's a gift from spirit. Like they're kind of
Totally.
guiding me into that?
Yeah, I love that. I love the altered state feeling of,
Yeah.
because that's what you're working in, right? When you're
Yeah, I'm
tuning
not in
in.
my normal state, so I'm able
Right.
to hear everybody.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
noticed that when I go into an altered state and when I go into a trance, a deep trance, I'm like almost like not in my body. It's like I'm down this hallway, but everything is so
Mhm.
loud.
And
You drop.
that's what it's like when we open our intuition. Is our senses open, but we're much more relaxed and calm. It's
Mhm.
almost like it's a focused state of relaxation, so to speak.
There's some great questions in
Yeah,
the
let's take a
chat. You want
question.
to read some of them?
I'd love to.
You want to read the first one and I'll do the second one?
Where am I reading?
Oh, under private chat.
Sorry.
We can't post them up here because they're private chat because they were in an email probably.
Okay, okay. I thought
Brianna
maybe.
posted them in the back for us.
Okay, so here it is. Hello, ladies. I have a question about psychic and anxiety. Do either of you have sensations that seem to come out of the blue, like anxiety? I'm wondering if my anxiety is actually someone from the other realm trying to get my attention. Thank you, Brittany. We appreciate your question. Thank you, Brittany.
Yes. I love that question because I've had anxiety my whole life. My children all had anxiety. And I knew I had this gift. I knew I connected with spirit, but I never put 2 and 2 together. And
Mhm.
yes, I do believe you're an empath. And when you're empathic, which is like what I do, I feel so strong. You're going to feel all of the energy, not just spirit, but also people. That maybe, like, if you're driving, I used to get anxiety while driving. If
Mhm.
there's people getting road rage, I'm feeling it. I'm
Mhm.
feeling that anxiety and that stress and that anger, and I don't know why or where it's coming from. So it is something that definitely happens. And the best thing to do is to really kind of work on setting boundaries and putting a bubble around yourself every day and saying only love can get in so that you don't feel the anxiety so much. I can tell you it is improved. It's like day and night for me. My
Mhm.
husband even has noticed, like, I'm not as anxious as I used to be.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Oh,
you have a gift, right?
yeah. And just to tweet what Kelly just said for everyone listening. I hope you're listening, everyone. Only let love in, right?
Yes.
Let only love in. That's a mantra. It's a
Yes.
mantra. You can say that. You can affirm that next time when you have anxiety. Okay,
Yeah.
Brittany, and for anyone else, only let love in. I mean, that is something we can remember, right? We can remember that next time.
And
Um,
another favorite technique is I
mhm.
like to breathe in through my nose.
Mhm.
And then I kind of just hold it for a second. And as I'm holding it, I imagine the bubble surrounding me and pushing anything negative out. And then as I let my breath out, I'm pushing all the negative out with it as my bubble's forming. Yeah,
That's
I'm a visual person.
mhm.
Everybody's different, but I will do that even when I'm driving at a light. If I start to feel anxious, I just imagine the bubble and then I put my favorite music on, which is Bob Marley.
That's great. So I've never really had anxiety until my adult life, and I don't have it now. But when I was having it, it was during a period of time, which I find out later, right? I was getting new guides in my. I was opening up intuitively, but you don't gonna know it at the time. You just
Right.
feel, what is this? Why and what is happening? But what I understand in my own, through my own meditation and my own receiving in my messages from my guides, is I was getting more help. I was opening. I was, for example, strengthening my abilities. So it was during a period of time in my life. It really wasn't. I would say it wasn't really too bad. But when you're sensitive, you do notice everything. And so for me, and it wouldn't last long, but I was having that period where, once
Yes.
again, I do believe it is spirit in some way connecting with you. So through your meditation and practice, maybe you can write down those questions, and then when you sit to meditate, receive some
Yeah.
messages.
Here's another one from Courtney that says, did either of you suffer from panic attacks in your middle age? I did suffer from panic attacks. My daughter suffers from them still on
Mhm.
occasion. Mine were more in my 20s and 30s.
Mhm.
Once I started developing, which was around 40,
Mhm.
I'm 50, gonna be 53 in September. Okay.
You're
So
going to be 53 in September?
oh,
You're just a baby here.
whatever. Once I started to develop, literally the panic attacks stopped. I mean, it was such a relief. And, the panic attacks were just so stressful for my family because my husband called it, he had a name for it that wasn't very nice because he didn't understand. He called it something else attack,
Mhm.
starting with the B word.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I would get so anxious that I would like freak out about everything. And he
Right.
didn't quite understand it until we
Mhm.
started doing therapy about my panic attacks. And then that was right around my started developing my spirituality and it just sort of was gone.
Mhm.
It was like I learned to put that bubble, I learned to set
Yeah.
boundaries, and I no longer had that anymore. And
Mhm.
I let go of control. I was a control freak.
Oh, yeah.
Letting go of control, the
Mhm.
panic attacks disappeared. Because we can't control life,
Mhm.
especially when you have like kids like mine.
So I've never really had panic attacks before. I don't believe I have.
Feels like you're
Uh,
dying. Feels like you're having a heart attack. I actually was in the hospital twice for them.
mm, mm,
And my blood pressure goes up. Like it's crazy what would happen. I
mhm,
couldn't breathe. You hyperventilate. You
mhm,
almost pass out.
mhm.
Yeah, I mean, twice they've given me a shot to calm me down, but it's no fun.
Yeah.
It was all because I was sensitive and I didn't understand it.
Mhm. And so I'm glad you're able to help Courtney. So Courtney, we hope that was helpful for you. I do believe, just as far as panic attacks and anxiety, from what I've learned is, and from life in general, is the more you can learn about your own intuition, the more you can learn and understand and use discernment around energy, the more allowing you are, and the more joy and light you can let into your life, because you're just more aware. You're more aware, and in some way you can relax more about that.
Yeah, yeah. I've found that, like, I don't like crowds, right? But when you're in your 20s, you want to go to the concerts and you want
Mhm,
to go to the bars with all your friends. And I would have panic attacks in all those places,
mhm.
and I
Yeah.
would just be like, why am I doing this? So I would drink more, which of course makes panic attacks worse.
Mm,
And then I would be like, I need to go home.
mhm,
So it was great to figure out what was causing it, how to fix it.
mhm,
All the therapy in the world never taught me. It was spirituality that taught me, and really
mhm,
embracing my gifts and
mm.
understanding who I truly was and what this was about. So it is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I just want to add to what Kelly is saying, and that spirituality, it's an individual thing. You don't have to go into a profession of being a professional anything. Learning about your own spirit within, so to speak, and your own higher self, and your magnificence and capability of living and manifesting your dreams and desires, is all that's we're all there. We're all sharing that. That's what Kelly and I are hoping to get across to you tonight.
Yeah, and there's so many great questions, you guys. Like,
Mm,
thank you. These are just so beautiful. Here's another one, and this is so true, and this is a great question. The past 2 years, I want to say past 3 years, have caused anxiety for so many. It
mhm,
was hard to stay grounded. How did
mhm,
you two handle the
mhm,
world pandemic?
mhm,
I went into my shell and had to get myself to ground and feel normal.
mhm,
I'm going to be honest with you. I was really happy during the pandemic.
mhm. Yeah.
I liked that the beaches weren't always as crowded. I went on bike rides with my son because I
Mhm,
lived at the beach. I got really into my art and I did a lot of art in my warehouse. I learned how to sew. I mean, I found and I had more readings than I've ever had in my entire life.
mhm,
It was
mhm,
crazy, just so much business,
mhm,
and I had to manage that, but it was all very helpful and it kept me
mhm,
busy.
mhm,
And, I'm already used to being at home with my family and my dogs. I mean, we didn't have to, really separate because we were always together.
mhm,
So I don't know. I really didn't struggle like some people. I was quite happy. What
mhm.
about you, Cheryl?
Yeah, I had a great time because I'm a Taurus and I'm a homebody anyway, so I love being home. And I do agree with Kelly. It was our busiest time for many people in the spiritual helping realm of healing. Well, for Kelly and I can speak for us that
Yeah.
we were working really hard, but there was a spiritual awakening happening, and we were very aware of it, and we knew that we were there for a reason, to help others.
Yes.
And that, setting that intention, was very grounding for us. So I know it was a very special time, and I know it wasn't for everybody, and that's why Kelly and I were busy, because we were helping people, trying to help interpret or um, discern once again, and help bring understanding and help people
Yeah.
calm down. Because I know I do energy work or energy healing. I'm sure Kelly and her readings offers that as well. It's like we were there to help support what was happening
Yeah.
during that time. So,
I
but
love that there was nobody on the road.
yeah. I loved going to the gym. When the gym finally opened again, it
Yeah.
was like my own private gym,
Right.
because you had to make a reservation, and they only allowed,
No,
small amount of
I
people in.
remember we had to go somewhere from Orange County to the valley, and we had to drive through the 405, and usually there's like so much traffic, right? Because it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It would normally take you twice as long. And I just remember going, oh my gosh, there's nobody on the road. There's
Yeah.
no pollution. This is great.
Yes.
I'm getting to where I'm going. And I like to drive like this,
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that part I enjoyed. And going to the beaches when nobody was there, that's
Mhm.
amazing. I love the
Mhm.
beach.
Mm.
Yeah. So I don't know. I had a good time. I feel guilty.
Yeah, yeah. But there's so much happening, and so much we're still understanding about our own energy during that time. And I'm glad, Elsie, that you were conscious and aware about practicing grounding,
And she gardened.
grounding to Mother Earth.
She
Pardon
says,
me?
she says my garden grounds me.
Oh, how
And
beautiful.
I love that. And I love that.
That brings my attention, just to add to that, Elsie. I did work on my garden during that whole time in our yard. And really, I was one of those people that I was going to the store improving my garden. I loved it. I
That's
loved it
awesome.
completely. Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a great time. I wish I was into gardening. I love flowers, but I don't have that natural ability that some people have with the green thumb.
Mm.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
husband
Yeah.
does better than
Oh
me.
no.
Yeah,
It's so wonderful to be outside. Love
it
it.
is though. It is. Yes. Well, it is. I guess because we don't have Todd today, we're not sure what happened. So hopefully everything's good with Todd. We're not going to have we didn't have our intro. We're not going to have the ending,
Mm-hmm.
play either. So when we end this tonight, guys, we're
Mm-hmm.
going to, because it's about time, I think, to go, right, Cheryl?
Yeah. 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 We're going to wind up
If
here.
there's not going to be a video playing, so just so you know, when we end it, we're saying sayonara. We will see you in 2 weeks, because next week the station
Oh.
is on vacation.
Oh.
The whole station. So there's no shows next week. Is that right, Brianna? Yeah, no outro. Yes. So no station, no show next week, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. And I can't remember what we have planned for 2 weeks.
I don't
But
know.
if you want to share anything that you have going on, Cheryl, I know you've got
I'd
a
love
lot going
to,
on.
yeah, everyone, I'd love to share with you that I do have a Circle of Love. I have my monthly Circle of Love small group reading event happening. It's coming up June 23rd. There were 2 tickets left last time I looked. It's a small group reading of only 8 people, so it's a small gathering online. I'd love to do a reading for you at that time. Everyone gets a reading. So it's like June 23rd, and I think my next one after that is July 11th. And then also I have a great event with Suzanne Northrup coming up July 17th. And these are all online events. So from the comfort of your own home, you can purchase a ticket. And Suzanne and I are so much fun. She's so much fun. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing readings. And, I have my healing prayer circle on Sundays, which is free to join. And of course, this wonderful radio show. Yeah.
And then you're doing
July
the
8th.
Matrix. Yes.
Thank you. That is a new event, Brianna. Thank you so much. I just added July 8th. I'll be with Kimberly Meredith. That is a donation only event. So we would love to see you there. We'll be doing prayer, meditation, readings, and that's online too. Please check out on my events page on my website, or you can go to the Healing Trilogy as it's mentioned below. But I'd love to see you there July 8th.
Yeah.
That's a Saturday. Like Saturday. You need to come.
Yeah. And then what do I have happening, Brianna? Post away. I do have an online small group reading coming up here real soon. And then I have a lot of in-person classes this summer. So this is an in-person class if you're in the Sacramento area, or within a couple hours. This is going to be a fun class. It's a mediumship class. It's for people who already have some experience. So come check that out. The very next day, we're doing our holistic fair, and we're doing readings, $75 for the readings, which is a really good price. Mm-hmm. Or you could book 4 readings for I can't remember exactly, but it's cheaper. I think $250. And you get a reading with all the different mediums and healers. I'm also doing an open mic night at my Love and Light Center. All of these are at my Love and Light Center. Oh, here's my online stuff. Online small group reading, June 27th. I still have some spots left. I don't know how many, but I think there's a few. And I have a free class in the Sacramento area right here on, where'd it go? There it is. Everything's moving. Free class, Are You a Medium? And it's 3-hour class on July 16th. Come have a little fun. See if it's something for you. Who knows? All right. And I have another in-person small group reading at my place on July 15th also. I know I said that all out of order. I'm not as organized as Cheryl. It's kind of how my brain is.
It's all good. It's all good. Well, the energy of this month and the energy of this show has been tremendous, Kelley. So once again, cheers to you.
Thank you.
It's been such a great show. Namaste, everyone. We will see you back here in 2 Wednesdays from now. Namaste. See you in a couple of weeks.
Bye.